Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures morning leap session for Thursday, November the 2nd, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together to take a look at the market, macro and micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets. And then we create our multiple trade plans. These are our hypotheses of what we think the auction will do based on who's in control. We create multiple hypotheses because we do not know what the market's going to do. What we do is what we look at is what the market could do based on the auction, and then create multiple scenarios for that so that we have a plan in place. Then we wait to see what the market is doing at the RTH Open, and then we execute the plan that best suits the market. This allows us not to create a bias in one direction or the other and get stubborn. We know what levels to look for. We know what scenarios will change, which hypo we're thinking about, and then we execute upon it. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at Quantum Leap Futures. QuantumLeapFutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live in the go-to session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the RTH trading session. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, your own risk metrics. So take a look at yesterday. Our main hypothesis was we were opening the auction out of range. We had put in an overnight high, a new all-time high up at the 84s. We were looking for an open auction out of range and a push down at least to the 77 and somewhere between 77 and the prior day value area high at 73. We were looking for initiative buyers to step in and rotate us up to that 84, chop around, and then push up into new all-time highs. Hypo 2 was the opposite, was a move to take out the all-time high, and somewhere between the 84 and the 87, we were looking for responsive sellers to step in and rotate us down towards that half gap fill at 77 with a possible late day probe down into the prior day range, and then closing somewhere in around the 73 to 72 area. Hypo 2 is what we got. It was actually a beautiful move and excellent targets. Market reacted quite well to the auction yesterday. We created yet another double distribution day with the main LVN being at that 25.78.75 level, right by the mid and the VWAP. So, take a look at the overnight inventory. You can see that the overnight inventory has been pretty much 100% net short. We have on the news come up and testing the VPOC from yesterday, which was in the lower distribution. I'm expecting that this inventory is probably going to balance out early and push up even further into the 78, 75 area. But we'll get into the hypos in just a couple minutes. Let's take a look at that news. The news being, of course, Bank of England did not raise their rates. They left their interest rate at 0.5. Continuing job claims was less than expected. Initial jobs claim less than expected. Non-farm productivity was better than expected. So very strong news at 8:30. Coming up at 9:45, we've got Bloomberg consumer confidence and ISM business conditions. And then at 10:30, we've got natural gas. 12:20, we've got FOMC member Dudley speaking. And then later tonight, we've got Bostic speaking. The big thing today will be, of course, Trump is supposed to release his tax bill. Actually supposed to be out and about. They said, I read somewhere that they're planning on putting it out at 9 a.m. this morning. So be careful for when that happens. This market is going to probably react. Earnings, again, Facebook came out last night. Oracle, QCOM, all was pretty strong. The only one I didn't get to see that came out was Tesla. But I'll take a look back. This morning we've had Alibaba, Chesapeake, Teva, Wayfair, Yum. For the most part, again, the earnings have been pretty good. After the market closes, the big one, of course, is Apple. Apple reports tonight at 4:30, so could be some interesting, interesting fireworks tonight in the Globex Open. So I would suggest that if you're thinking of trading in the Globex, just be careful on that Open. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be the big news. Just going back to that news for a second. And of course, it is non-farm payroll tomorrow. So we have at 8:30, we've got Canadian employment changes, but the big one is going to be non-farm payrolls right here at the 8:30. This is one that really marks the moves the market, especially gold. If you're trading gold, it's my favorite time to trade gold. All right, so let's take the overnight and start moving our numbers over. Of course, we just made a new Globex high, and this is probably likely to expand even further coming into the RTH session, especially if that tax bill comes out. Our overnight low is all the way down at 63. So we went down and hit that 68. I'm so upset with myself. 63.50. I actually got long 64.75 and didn't hold on long enough. Could have had a really good night, but I closed it down early and then I just shut my trading down for the night. Overnight VPOC is at 72. That is becoming an important level. You can see that on the smaller time frame micro composite from the gap up and then the push through value and then the gap up again. The micro composite VPOC is at 72.50. That is our fair value right now. The last 4 days of balance, that is the VPOC as well right there. What we want to watch for is how we react on today's session as we add that in, and we're watching to see if the microcomposite VPOC for the 4-day moves higher. So we broke out of value. We were unable to hold. We tried to hold value in around the 73. We fell off of that. We came through value. They took a trip right down to the microcomposite low and that week low last week at 41.50, and then they rallied it back up, accepted value above the value area, and now we're waiting to see. We came back to the VPOC, microcomposite VPOC at 72.75. The price accepted after the breakout. And now we're waiting to see if the 72.50 shifts up to the 77.78 area to bring price acceptance higher for a continuation move up. If we don't hold 72, then we're looking for a move back into that 78 area. This is where we tried to hold the value in these 3 days and where the microcomposite value area high is right now. Anything below that, looking for the overnight low to get taken out and a push down to this price right here at 61.50, which was the last price just before the breakout. Likely to chop around in this area and create maturity of the price acceptance in this area going into tomorrow's non-farm payroll. So in terms of levels, pretty simple today. We've got the double distribution. That is just something that we keep seeing. The 78 area is going to be my over-under line. And then my key line in the sand today is going to be the 71. It's a preliminary or temporary, you could call it a warning line. Oh, why didn't that work? And let's call that our warning line instead of key line, because the key line in the sand really is going to be the value area high here at 68. Got that naked close rate there too. Our daily 20 period full session ATR is running at 1204 off of the high overnight, which is probably temporary. We'll have to adjust this, but 1204. Our downside daily ATR target is going to be 63.75. One tick off of the low overnight. And off of the low overnight of 63.50. 75.50. And we're trading right around there right now. And I put this overnight high in the wrong spot. 76. So we're most likely going to do some type of a make and break of the overnight high. Probably going to get some more expansion here coming into the RTH session. I'm not going to worry too much about the 80.50. I'm really looking at this 81.50. I know that 80.75 was the prior all-time high, but I'm just going to move it up to the RTH open from yesterday. And then above that, I'm targeting the 84, the interim all-time high that was adjusted yesterday. This was the Globex all-time high. And then, of course, the 85. We still have our measured move to 87. And then our weekly is still up at the 26.01, and our monthly is up at 26.12 still. On the downside, all the levels basically remain the same. The next big destination is still down here in the 61, and the big support is going to be that 56, and that's that value area high of this balance right here, the shorter time frame microcomposite balance that we broke out of to go in and put those new highs. So in terms of hypotheses, because the inventory is overall net short by time and price overnight, and we are creating a weak high here at 76, I'm looking for an open auction in range, a push up into the 78, and this is where the first response I'm looking for, taking out yesterday's VPOC as well, which is behind the overnight low here. Let me just send this to the back. That's yesterday's naked VPOC. So we're right back in yesterday's balance. And then I'm looking for somewhere in this area between the 81.50 and the 78, finding responsive sellers and moving us down, chopping at the 72 area in the current balance, and then pushing down to 68, basing and working our way back, closing somewhere between 75 and 71. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push down into the 68, possibly even come down a little bit further to the 63 to 61, finding responsive buyers, rotating us back up into the prior day range, chopping around here, and then pushing up and coming up to test the upper distribution of the double distribution day in this 82 and going sideways. Not expecting a lot of move today unless the tax plan is really big, and then Hypo 3 will kick in, and that will be an open auction in range, failure to break below the prior day range, finding buyers early, pushing us up, chopping between the 78 and 80, and then pushing up into new all-time highs and coming up somewhere up here. We are above the daily ATR, so they took us for a trip down, trying to shake out the week longs and run some stops. And now, if we stay above the over/under line, then I'm thinking that we're going to kick into Hypo 3 and push into the 2590s, and possibly I don't know if we'll get the 2600 today, but we'll be setting that up for the possibility of popping into the 2600s on non-farm tomorrow. Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, a push up, failure to take out the 70, get above the 79, and then come down and basically chop between 61 and the 72, and filling in the composite here between the 72 and the 68, and determining fair value between those 2 points, with a possible late day probe down into the 60 area to 55 area. Those are my 4 main hypotheses. The 5th is a take back day, a breakdown day, where we fail to get into the upper distribution. We come down very quickly to the 65, 63, chop here, push into the 61, fail, come down into the 55, and actually come down and end up coming into non-farm payroll down here around the longer time frame microcomposite VPOC, the overall VPOC, which is at 25.49. So those are my my hypotheses, my trade plans. Going to the gold chart, gold continues to try to base around this this composite VPOC that goes all the way back to October 24th, 2008. We did get a slight shift. It was at 25.8. It shifted up to 26, just with all the volume that we're putting in, and we could actually shift it up into the 77, 78 area. But we're in the same area, so all the same levels. We're watching 72. 72 doesn't hold, 68. 68 doesn't hold, 63, and we're not expecting 63 to hold this time. If we come back, we're looking for free fall down into the 1250 area. That does not mean that my overall bias has changed on gold. I'm still long on gold, just realizing that we're basing, but we're not finding strong enough buyers to break above that 80 level and get us up into the 83 and then push into the 91, 92. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.